Let's look at another example involving normal distribution. So a survey indicates that for each trip to a supermarket, a shopper spends on average 43 minutes with a standard deviation of 12 minutes in a store. The lengths of time spent in a store are normally distributed and are represented by the variable X. So a shopper enters the store. We're just going to do part A. Well, we're just going to do the first example, I should say. We're just going to do this one. So find the probability that the shopper will be in the store for each interval of the time listed below. And then part B says when 200 shoppers enter the store, how many shoppers would you expect to be in the store for each interval time listed below? So there's actually two parts for each question. So let's just do between 22 and 52 minutes. So since it said normal distributed, we can kind of draw our normal distribution curve. So at one standard deviation from the mean, that's our point of inflection. So I could draw my normal distribution curve here. And so between 22 and 52 minutes, so looks like we're talking 22 is about here, and 52 would be about here. So our question is, what's the probability that there would be between 22 to 52, you'll be in the store between 42 and 52 minutes. Now remember, in Excel, we can do cumulative probability. So I can do the probability from the left side to the right side. So we can do from like here all the way over here to here. So that's going to be the probability of being X is less than 22. So we could do that to start with. So we can use normal distribution here. So if we had equals, doesn't matter really what cell, equals, start typing norm, N-O-R-M, distribution. So the fields we need is the sample, which was the 22. The mean was the 43. The standard deviation was the 12. I believe that's what it was up there. Standard deviation was 12 minutes. And we do want cumulative, so we want to make that statement true. I'm going to close up our parenthesis. That gives us the probability of being in the store less than 20 minutes. Now, the other probability I can do on Excel is the probability of being less than 52 minutes. So I can do that in this next cell here. So equals normal distribution. Looks like I have to double click there. So we want 52 as our sample. Again, our mean is the 43. Our standard deviation was 12. And again, we want this to be cumulative. Oops, we want to use the word true there to make it cumulative. So if I do that, that gives me the probability of being less than 52 minutes. But what I want is the probability to be between that. So these two values actually have to be subtracted. So what I have to do is the probability of being less than 52 is from here all the way over to here. That's what they want, is the probability from. But what we have to do is we just want the probability to be between 22 and 52. So we have to actually remove the part that's left of this 52, or 22, I should say. So that didn't work really well. So should still have a little curve here. So basically what I'm looking at is to remove this part over here. So these two probabilities have to be subtracted. So down here I can put equals, and I want this A5 minus A4. So if I go A5 minus, oops, A5 minus A4, that should give me the probability of being between 22 and 52 minutes. So we're looking at 0.73, looks like 773 or 7.7734. So no, 0.7333. So 0.7333. Sorry about that. Looks like I was writing down the wrong one. 0.7333 would be the probability being between 22 and 52 minutes. Now, part B says, how many shoppers would you expect to be in the store that stay there between 22 and 52 minutes? So if there's 200 shoppers, what we're thinking is about 0.7333, about 73% of those are going to be in the store between 22 and 52 minutes. So if I do the percentage of this, in other words, if we multiply those together, we can. So in Excel, I can do equals, and I could type in the 200, and I could multiply by, and I can actually type in A7 there. And that should multiply those together, I believe, if it takes that. Doesn't like that. Okay. So I guess we'll click on, I believe the multiplication, we have to actually use an asterisk here. So asterisk, and then if I do A7, it should now multiply that together. So we're thinking there should be around 146.6 or about 147 shoppers would be in the store between 22 and 52 minutes. So that's how we can kind of use Excel is we find the cumulative probabilities, subtract them to get the in-between probability, and then we can then use the say 3.33%, if you will, multiply that by 200, and that will give us our number of shoppers that we expect. Now, again, if we want to use the calculator, let's see if we can pull that up here. Notice that on the calculator, let's see if we get this thing to turn on. I can do second distribution, normal. Notice that my lower bound would be the 22, the upper bound would be the 52. The mean was 43, and then the standard deviation was 12. So if we input that into our calculator, it'll do the data for us and give us our 0.733. Then if I multiply that by 200, that'll tell us how many shoppers were actually there between 22 and 52 minutes. So notice I do get the same answers there using the calculator.